I think about you all the time, Nikki.
After watching Obsession, it is clear that its greatest monster is not the supernatural One-Wish Willow, but its protagonist, Bear Bailey. Although the movie initially presents Bear as an awkward, lonely young man with unrequited feelings for his friend Nikki, his choices steadily reveal a deeply selfish and morally compromised person. Rather than respecting Nikki's feelings and autonomy, Bear uses supernatural power to force her into loving him, and even after learning the horrific consequences of his wish, he repeatedly demonstrates that his greatest concern is not Nikki's suffering but his own discomfort. Bear's defining moral failure is his decision to strip Nikki of her free will. Before making the wish, Bear did not even have the courage to ask her out or even tell her how he felt about her. He did not even give her the opportunity to either reject or accept his feelings. Instead of respecting Nikki's agency and free will, Bear chooses to magically override her feelings.
I wish Nikki Freeman loved me more than anyone in the world. Or it does work and it like ruins their lives.
Or they die or wish they were dead.
The wish is not simply an attempt to improve his chances with Nikki. It fundamentally rewrites her mind so that she is compelled to love him more than anyone in the world. Nikki's affection is no longer her own choice, making any intimacy between them ethically hollow and more along the lines of S.A. The horror of this situation becomes even clearer when the movie reveals that Nikki's original personality is effectively imprisoned beneath the wish. At one point, a lucid Nikki emerges briefly and desperately begs Bear to kill her because she would rather die than remain trapped inside the obsessive persona the wish has created. This moment confirms that the woman Bear is dating is not truly Nikki. Her authentic self still exists, but has been suppressed by the supernatural compulsion he imposed upon her. The wish has not simply changed Nikki's emotions. It has erased her autonomy and replaced it with a distorted version of herself that exists solely to satisfy Bear's desires.
Please don't wake her up. Just kill me.
Any other takers?
It's not me! It's not me! Oh my god, I'm so sorry. Please.
Instead of immediately doing everything possible to restore Nikki's freedom, Bear hesitates. His reluctance reveals that his problem is not guilt over violating Nikki's autonomy, but uncertainty about giving up the relationship he has always wanted. Even after realizing that the love he is receiving is entirely artificial, part of him still clings to it. This is reinforced by the timing of Bear's attempts to undo the wish. He does not seek to reverse it simply because Nikki's free will has been stolen. Instead, he acts only after the consequences become unbearable for him personally. Nikki watches him sleep, accuses him of not loving her enough, behaves erratically, makes him a sandwich from his dead cat's remains, and eventually becomes violently homicidal. His motivation is consistently tied to how frightening and inconvenient Nikki has become, not to the ethical horror of what he has done to her.
What does that mean? What's the verdict, cat?
Bear, what does...
No.
What?
No, don't do that!
I don't like my dreams.
The fact that he only tried to reverse the wish, only after all of that, implies something deeply disturbing about Bear's values. If the wish had transformed Nikki into a perfectly ordinary, affectionate girlfriend while still erasing her genuine personality, there is little evidence that Bear would have objected. The movie suggests that what finally motivates him is not respect for Nikki's autonomy, but dissatisfaction with the side effects of getting exactly what he wished for. In other words, Bear appears willing to accept a relationship built on the destruction of another person's agency, so long as it remains comfortable for him. The brief conversation between Bear and Nikki's restored personality further exposes this selfishness. Nikki begs him to end her suffering, explaining that she cannot endure being trapped by the wish. Bear refuses, saying he is offended that she would rather die than be with him.
It was normal. Everything was good. So beautiful, and you were normal, and you are normal.
Just kill me.
What would be so bad? What's so bad about being with me?
Rather than empathizing with the unimaginable violation Nikki has experienced, Bear makes the moment about his own wounded feelings. Even while confronted with the fact that the real Nikki finds the magical relationship so horrifying that she prefers death, he interprets her plea as a personal rejection instead of recognizing the moral consequences of his actions. This obsession that he has with Nikki is also what ultimately destroys everyone around him. Sarah is brutally murdered after trying to help Bear understand the situation. Ian is shot dead, and Nikki becomes the unwilling instrument of horrific violence to those two, while her true consciousness remains trapped beneath the supernatural obsession. Bear himself dies after failing to fully commit to ending the curse earlier. Every major death in the movie can be traced directly back to Bear's original decision to override Nikki's free will.
You're supposed to kiss me.
Rip my eyes out of my. Oh, honey. Honey, no. Bear!
Although Bear's death finally ends the wish and restores Nikki's true personality, it is not redemption. Redemption generally requires meaningful moral growth and a voluntary sacrifice motivated by genuine concern for others. Bear's death does not even come close to meeting that standard. He spends much of the movie resisting the loss of the relationship he created through magical coercion, and his death occurs amid failed attempts to escape the consequences of his own choices rather than as a clear, selfless act of atonement. And his death also cannot undo the irreversible damage he has caused. Ian and Sarah remain dead. Nikki regains control of herself only to awaken surrounded by unimaginable trauma. She must now live with the knowledge that she was assaulted by Bear and that she was forced to murder her closest friends while deprived of control over her own mind. Bear's death frees her from the curse, but it cannot restore everything that was stolen from her from someone she trusted. Obsession functions as a cautionary tale about entitlement disguised as romance. Bear convinces himself that his love for Nikki justifies taking away her ability to choose him freely. His inability to accept rejection leads him to value possession over mutual affection, transforming what could have remained simple teenage heartbreak into irreversible tragedy. Rather than being a sympathetic victim of supernatural forces, Bear is ultimately responsible for unleashing them. His obsession costs the lives of his friends, robs Nikki of her autonomy, and leaves her with permanent psychological scars. The movie's true horror lies in the realization that every tragedy began with one man's belief that his desire for love mattered more than another person's freedom to say no.